Why do Muslims speak as if they are today's New Testament scholars?
As the Bible, we know there has been corruption.
When we analyze the Bible, it's a corrupted text.
This book has been corrupted.
I believe the Bible has been corrupted in every way.
Do you accept the Bible is corrupted?
Even though there's textual variations within every handwritten piece of ancient antiquity, scholars don't define textual variations as corruption. According to scholars, such as senior professor Dr. Daniel Wallace, there isn't any textual variations within the New Testament manuscripts that affect the core important teachings of Christianity.
But I wanted to talk to you about the variants in the manuscripts. It's such important evidence to think about. Over 99% make virtually no difference at all.
Over 99% of textual variances make no difference at all, including the variant found in 1 John chapter 5 verses 7 through 8, known as the Comma Johanneum, along with the variant found in the Gospel of John chapter 8 verses 1 through 11, known as the Pericope Adulterae. Then there's the extended ending of the Gospel of Mark. With or without these textual variances, nothing affects the core important teaching of salvation within the New Testament. Muslims even seem to think they make an impact when mentioning the absence of original manuscripts.
Like the oldest manuscript they have of the Bible is 300 years after Jesus, Codex Sinaiticus.
No. The oldest manuscript is a fragment known as Manuscript P52 found up in John Rylands Library in Manchester, containing the Gospel of John. The earliest attested written sources we have for the life of Alexander the Great came more than 300 years after his lifetime. The earliest copy they have for Julius Caesar's Gallic Wars comes more than 800 years after the original manuscripts. The earliest copy they have for the Poetics of Aristotle came more than 1400 years after the original manuscripts. This is not an issue for scholars of antiquity, but it is an issue for Muslims. Even though the faith of every Muslim solely depends on rejecting the abundance of earliest attested sources, for the words of a man who claims supernatural intervention 600 years later, everything else is somehow inferior to the Quran. When Muslims protest that scholars admit the Bible has been corrupted, they only mention the unbelieving secular scholars, such as John Dominic Crossan, Elaine Pagels, and the #1 favorite, Bart Ehrman. They are not Christian scholars. They are historians who reject Muhammad as a prophet. When we look back to the earliest attested Christians who lived during the time of the apostles that followed Christ, known as the Apostolic Church Fathers, we can reconstruct the entire New Testament with how many times they quoted from the biblical text, with their writings dating back to the late 1st century and early 2nd century. And it matches today's biblical text. No matter how far back we go through history, the Bible never changes.